Hello everyone and welcome back to Not in My Lifetime channel. And today me and Brigzy will be discussing the Celtic game that happened earlier on this morning, our time. Again, this is going to be confusing for us to review this stuff, but we'll roll with it until we're back obviously playing league football again. But before we start, Brigzy, how you doing, mate? Unmute yourself, mate.
Yeah,
There you go.
good to be back on the channel. Thanks for having us on, lads. First things first, for anyone that comes in the stream, make sure you like and subscribe to the Not in My Lifetime podcast. You've got Luke, you've got Danny, and you've also got, after last night, I'm going to call him Laggy Alex, after his internet issues. Laggy Alex.
Yeah, mate, honestly, look, he is frustrated by it. I mean, it's been obviously moved to a new place, obviously getting stuff in, but hopefully when that's sorted out, back to normal again. But yeah, he's not right now. But all fun and games, all fun and games. So big up, Jack. We're all doing good, mate. We're all doing good. Yeah, we're all City are back. Finally, some real football's back again. Up the shit show of the Euros, but forget about England and the Euros. I don't give a shit anymore. We're back with City now. I thought as the this morning, thought I had the new Norway kit. Love it myself personally, but actually a real team, not our team. But you know, we'll get on with this video, I think. But it was look, yeah, we lost the game. Yeah, look, let's get away. We lost Celtic. Whether you look, I don't really care. Neither do you about the result. It's not about the result for me in this kind of game. It's about how the players on the pitch performed in the game. Now, I think the positives we'll start with first. You know, the real performance did well. Oscar Bobb was man of the match for me. Brilliant. He looks like he's really sort of settled into the team now after last season. Like he feels part of the squad now, like he's part of the success of the team. And you know, I think it's just nice to sort of see him. Like you know, was it you know on the back of the shirt now? Was it as well? Yeah, I see Alex coming up, but. But it's nice seeing him a bit more. Like obviously, he's had 1 year under his belt, won a league title, been a final as well. He's sort of been now and sort of seen it himself at a young age. I think we're now going to see him really getting into his own. I think people worried about him not getting game time. I think he will. I think Pep's fair enough to at least give players like Bobb a chance to do their bit. I think having him, Doku, and Savio is a great options on the wing. They're great options. They also even put Jack up out there now and again. I think our wing options are brilliant. The first time in the world, we've got three or four good wingers who can do a job there in different games. I think Oscar. I know it's a producing game, but when you watched him dribbling and pass the fullback, brilliant. I really can't wait to see him get more game time. Hopefully, get more chances to sort of start and prove himself. I mean, Harry. I mean, that the goal and also the assist, mate. What performance from him.
Yes, I mean, Oscar Bobb last night, you got to give him his flowers. I thought he was, like you said, man of the match, and I stayed up last night, watched the full game in UK time till about 2:30. Oscar Bobb, from minute 1 to minute 90, absolutely outstanding. The guy literally was cooking Celtic for fun. I mean, we're talking about Oscar Bobb, and there's all these rumours saying that he could be part of the Bruno exchange deal, obviously on loan. I wouldn't I wouldn't give Oscar Bobb on loan because he's too important for like when he's called upon. I mean, we see it last season at Newcastle away. Without that Oscar Bobb goal, you don't win the league. And last night was the same. Obviously, we did lose, but Oscar Bobb delivered when he stepped up. And if you send him on loan to Newcastle, you're going to lose a good young player there. It might be good for his development if he went to Newcastle, but you're going to lose a player that can give you a valuable 90 minutes when called upon. And he's shown it again, time after time. So Oscar Bobb, fair play to him. He's took his goal real well. He was creating chances, like crossing the ball in, them 2 assists, and obviously it was a handful for the Celtic fullback. So all I've got to say to him, Luke, is absolutely a generational talent I think we could have on our hands here.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, his talent. I think for me, right, when I watch him, is that when Foden came through, same sort of ability, same sort of touching the ball. I know Rico. Look, Rico's still good in himself. Rico's a very solid, a Philip Lahm type player. Right back, DM, can do a job on the other side. He's that kind of player. He's great for a squad like ours. But actually, he can play a lot of games and sort of play different positions. But what Bobb offers a bit of skill, a little bit of intuition, and just never gives up. And having that on the wing, especially as well, obviously being a Norwegian, obviously having Haaland as well, helps them sort of work together, obviously for Norway and for City. That kind of level of understanding each other will only get better and better the more games he plays. I feel like when you see him against, obviously this morning, he just glides around the pitch. I wouldn't say he's rapid, but he's got the dribbling and the ability on the ball to like hold himself up against tough fullbacks or defenders. I think that's really useful for us, especially against like, obviously and the actual Forest and that have got big defenders. Obviously, are going to try and stop us. Obviously, try and park the bus against us, and that kind of play on the wing will be vital to us in certain big games or games something in the cups, whatever. So, I think tonight was a real sign of intent from him that he's going to make a big impact this season for us. I mean, especially as well having the new number as well on the back of the shirt potentially as well. It's obviously a good sign that Pep wants to keep him. The club wants to keep him, and he wants to be here as well, which is really good. Hopefully, I'm not sure he's got a long-term deal with us still. I think he does, doesn't he? I think he does.
I'm not sure on the deal.
I think he might do. I'm very sure he signed a new deal recently, so that's obviously good. He got him sort of like settled in now for another few years, which is good. But obviously giving Bobb his praise. I think let's go on to Haaland. Now, I know it's his first game. I'm not going to judge him the whole game, but he got a goal, great goal by the way, good header. I haven't seen enough of that from him really, apart from like the Wolves game last season. So I want to see that more from him doing that kind of goals. And I think if he didn't have that kind of like maturity, especially as well that I've seen, obviously being a captain of the team this morning, I think he can really sort of use that to his advantage, sort of being kind of mature but also imperious as striker that we actually need. I think the last 2 years, you really sort of seen him develop from like a really out and out like striker, more control, but he's trying to like get the best of both worlds now. I think we're really starting to see him sort of adapt more to obviously now being his third year, obviously now. You really start to see him like he's starting to understand things a lot better now. I think we'll start seeing him back to his best, I reckon, this season. What about you, Harry?
Yeah, for me, it's a strange one because obviously I was watching the game last night, and obviously I was looking at Twitter as well, and there was some people criticising Haaland. It's game one. He's not been at the Euros, so his match sharpness is going to be nowhere near as all the other strikers would be. But when he scores a goal, you've got to realise he scored a goal, yes, but it's pre-season and he's only going to get better as time goes on. So if he's missing chances, if he's not like movements a bit off, so just relax, because as time comes around, hopefully by Chelsea the league match, you'll see a much more match sharper Haaland, and he'll convert a lot more chances and score a few more goals. So Haaland, and it's not just that, it's the fact that when we had the Aguero to Haaland transition with a false nine, Gabriel Jesus, I mean, he was all crying out for a striker. The fan base was calling out for one. Now we've got one, and some people think, he's robotic, he's static, his movement's just shit. Like, just give Haaland time, because, I mean, first season, slammed it. Second season, slammed it, even though he did have a little drop off. Third season, he's probably thinking, yeah, my second season was shit compared to my first. I'm going to get back into gear. I'm going to get back to season one form. And that's what you've got to be careful of Haaland. You don't want to put all that pressure on him before people turn and say, you're just robotic, you're nothing, you're a Lukaku striker. He's going to get miles better as the season goes on. And last night, game one, pre-season, match sharpness, it is what it is. By Chelsea, it'll be up to full speed.
Absolutely. And look, I mean, Jack. I watched the game where I can. Now, obviously, I'm not going to. I mean, Jack obviously did what he did. Right, I think. I'm not. I think Callum wasn't his best, but again, it's his first game. I want to see him do well. I want to see him kick on and get back into this team. But he's going to need to get better and better, obviously, and really show something in these 2 games. I think because Pep's obviously going to look at it. Is going to think, all right, can you prove yourself? Can you get team or be a reliable player that I can call upon if Rory needs a bit of a rest? Because I know we're looking at Bruno Guimaraes and that, but we still got players in this squad that can at least do a job or do well. And I think we need to give Phillips and Nunes, who's back as well, a chance to show who they are. And I think that's what we need to do. I think Calvin needs to sort of start doing. I mean, I watched Asuso come on, and it was like another good player that's going for academy right now. So as players in the squad, I think that are really going to start, start showing them, how good they can be. I mean, there's some players that I think should go personally, obviously, just permanently. I think one's Wilson Edmund. I think as a good player in there, but I just don't think he's anywhere near the level right now to be a left back option for us. Right, I'm not saying he's a terrible player or anything, but obviously it is a first game back. But when I've watched him when I can, he hasn't really kicked on really as much as I thought he would in his 30s in the team. It's just it's. I know it's hard to really sort of say. It's hard to really sort of make judgments on players right now because it's just done one game. But I want to see some of these young players really kick on and really sort of show what they can do. Like, see, obviously, it's a big year for him as well. Can actually get into this team and start showing how good he can be. It's just there are a lot of questions that I think that are still unanswered. Still, you know what I mean? That's what I'm going to sort of say. You know what
I mean? You see the Wilson Esbrand one. I'm just going to pick up on it, but I'm going to choose my words carefully here because, like you said, he's not been around the City camp for 2 years. So that's why I'm going to be very cautious with my language on him. Last night, yes, if he was playing week in, week out for Man City the last couple of years, I'd call him shit. But I'd say he was very, what's the correct word? Probably thought out, a bit hit and miss, if you like. Because them 2 goals were costly, and if that's Premier League standard, you're gonna get burnt to a crisp basically if you did that week in, week out. And Pep Guardiola won't allow that in the Premier League. But because it was only Celtic, yeah, he was poor, but you've got to give him slack because he's been out on loan for the last 2 years. And if he was Premier League standard, which I'm going to be honest to him, fair play, must be a nice fella around the camp, must be a nice personality. Good player there, like you've said, but he's not really Manchester City standard. He's probably, let's say, bottom half team standard. So maybe he'd be good for someone like, I'm being honest with you, might be good for Ipswich if he learnt the ropes a bit, played a bit more in the Premier League, but nowhere near Man City standard.
I mean, I'm also back on obviously like to I think in a bit transfer as well and sort of get into obviously like the Ortega and Ederson situation because obviously Ederson's been kind of allegedly. I'm not sure. I can't confirm anything by the way because right now I'm seeing rumors, nothing concrete. So I'm not going to sort of say anything. I've said more that I'm frustrated if it is true about Ederson in terms of what has been said, but I don't know if it's true or not because I don't know where it's come from. So it's why I say I'm not going to say anything on here that could be proven to be wrong or false. At the end of the day, right, until we get the truth out from someone that's a reliable source, the Ederson situation still remains the same as it did before. I don't know what's going on. Well, is he going to go? Is he going to step? Personally, I think he'll stay at City. I think he'll go anywhere because unless Saudi can put the money up, they ain't going anywhere, in my opinion. But I think Ortega for me as a number 1 option isn't a bad choice, but I think we need a better keeper as backup if that's the case. Because we can't just keep relying on Ortega. Because if we have a terrible backup for Ortega, we're about like Steph and them kind of days. We need someone who's going to be either reliable or someone who's going to compete with Ortega if Ederson does go. But obviously, I know. Obviously, that's all up in the air still. But I mean, back to obviously the team for back onto transfers. When you look back, obviously, at the actual team that started that game, right? I mean, I was looking at it, and Bete, who I'm surprised he's that City and Bete. I'm surprised he's still here. Like, I thought he got out ages ago, but yeah, he's not a bad player in Bete, but I just don't think he's really sort of like got anywhere with it. Really, I'm not sure about you, but I never really sort of seen him progress.
Yeah, so with the Ederson story, I will make a comment on it. What it is you've got to, like I say, be careful with your words here because obviously we don't know how accurate it is, how reliable it is, but you can say allegedly. I'll do a Martin and Mancunian way. Allegedly, if this is true about Ederson, he needs to be shown the door because you can't think you're bigger than the club.
No.
However, we don't know what's happened behind clothing stores until it's come out officially from like a Jack Gorn, Martin Blackburn, even Fabrizio Romano. We just might have to play the waiting game as fans here. It could be a bit of a slow start to the season until we have seen something with Ederson that's come out formally. But it's just, you can't just go sweeping in with accusations like that, especially like a player that's been a top 7 since 2017 when he joined us. But if it is true, it might be say, right, if you're acting this way, a bit unprofessional, time to part ways and move on. But it is what it is for now until we've got something concrete. But when you've got to think about if you do have to part ways, Ortega, I like him, good shot stopper. He doesn't play out from the back well like an Eddie would do, but it could be something he can learn to apply that to his own game, basically, with the right coaching, which we have. We've got top quality coaching, but you've got to remember, Luke, and to everyone in the chat, every position in this Man City team, whether it's Ederson, Ruben Diaz, Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne, Haaland, whoever comes in next is going to be a downgrade. And another thing, there'll be a downgrade, but will they also give you longevity? Like Ederson's been around 7 years, De Bruyne since 2015. The next set of players for Man City, will they be able to give you that commitment like these players have today?
Just going to quickly, right? I've seen some people in the comments right now, guys,
Yes.
about Celtic, right? Guys, look, not being. We said nothing about Celtic at all, and I'm not even saying that. But I like Celtic personally. I think they're a good team, but people need to realize we're not anything or anything. I mean, I'm not going to show the comments anyway. But guys, come on. The stuff that's going on that's about us being deluded, man. We haven't said anything wrong about anything bad, but talk about Celtic. I haven't discussed them yet. So just chill out. You know, we are getting to it. In a City channel of the day. We're not talking about everyone, but anyone who comes in here who's actually not a City fan, like you are welcome to being here, obviously, and listen to what we have to say.
You've not said anything about Celtic. We just heard G's mention about Celtic. We're reviewing the game, lad. We're talking about pre-season. It's pre-season. It's not Champions League, not quarter-final, knockout stage, lad. It's pre-season. They're in the 4th game. We've just played our first. Just relax. We're analysing it. We're being critical, but we're also being fair about this analysis. Just step back a little, lad.
Okay, right. We're deluded. Okay, right. Well, tell us right now, right, what we said that's delusional, please. I'd like to know, actually, because there's we haven't said only Celtic, honestly. Oh god.
It's only Celtic. Okay, then. Sorry, Luke. I'm going to put it straight. Right. Okay. Right. But it's only Celtic. Totally. So it's only Celtic. I mean, fucking Celtic. We're Manchester City. We won the treble in 2023 last year. Last season as it is now, 2024, we've won 4 titles, 4 Premiership titles in a row. No one in this country has done 4. And now we're looking possibly at going 5. You've got to realise Scottish football is totally different to English football. And again, I go back to what I've just said to you, mate. Pre-season, Man City's first game since the FA Cup final. Celtic are in the 4th pre-season game. Look at the difference. Match sharpness, match fitness. Do better, mate. Fuck's sake.
And also just to say as well, if you're still in here still, we're not saying bad about Celtic. I like Celtic. I think they've got some good players. I like Furuhashi. I like O'Reilly with what he's playing. I'm not sure if he's playing still. I know he's playing Mark. They've got some good players in that team. Louis Palmer, Kun. They have some good players in that team. We're not saying they're bad at all. I think you've got a good team there that can go on and beat Rangers again. I think I do watch the football every now and again, but we're just saying where we are right now in pre-season, the teams doesn't really matter who we're playing against. They're pre-season games. If we played you guys in a competitive game and we lost you guys, fair play to you. We are not going to put that down. But at the end of the day, right, it's a pre-season game. I wouldn't care if it was bloody Real Madrid were playing, or bloody Barcelona, or United. It's a pre-season game. If you're taking a result that seriously, I don't know what to tell you at that point. I don't know about the results. I care more about the performances of certain players that actually get opportunity. That's what we all do as fans. We want to see how the young players do in these games. For me, I start caring about the games more when the league happens. That's for me.
Look,
Look,
just got
if you want to
something to
comment,
add to you.
go on.
So about this pre-season story, yeah, what we're talking about here. Do you know what pre-season's good for? Fitness. About
Yep.
getting your fitness up to scratch, because obviously, like your Jack Grealish, for example, Jack Grealish last night got omitted from the England Euro squad, and he was in training straight away, and obviously he's got to get back to being fit, got to get being back to match sharp, so he's ready for the actual league season when we play Chelsea away first game of season. That's what pre-season's for, getting ready for the league season. It's not about winning 5-0, winning 4-3, winning whatever. It's about players getting ready. And like Lucia said there, the youth, seeing what the next generation of Man City players are like. Sorry, Luke, carry on.
Now, imagine it's been about 3 minutes now, so you haven't commented. So either you've left the chat, because I'm sorry, right? We're not talking about Celtic. I'm sure there's everyone's out there, and if they are, I'll tell you who they were. You can go and watch them. Look, everybody club, apart from United, of course, have good bloody channels. We're not, again, let me reiterate, this show is not about slandering clubs. Celtic are a good team in their own right. I'm respecting them for what they are, but we've got to look at it like this. A preseason game, nobody cares about the result. It's about the performance. So if you're still in here, please understand that. When we say that, we're not saying only because we're enough. We're just saying that we have to. It's only a team of playing because we've got to get fitness to these players at the moment, and that's what we're trying to do. But I imagine it's been 4 minutes since last commented, and you aren't commenting anymore. So I imagine you probably left the video. Fair enough to you. You know, at the end of the day, right? It's your opinion. I'd say I'm not going to show it on air because I don't want to give you that attention. But at the end of the day, right? If you want to be in here, actually chat fairly, please feel free. But this is what the show's about. We're not here about flandering teams. We're here about chatting football to everyone. But that's the way now because I don't want to talk to say anymore. Let's obviously get something else in the chat. We'll carry on from there. But yeah, I should say that right now because anyone who's a Celtic fan in this chat right now who's watching, well, we're not respecting your team at all. I think you play very well against us. But I know it's your 4th game, but you still play very well, and rightfully so deserve that praise for playing well. But it's your 4th game. We are in our 1st game, going to our 2nd game. I'm not saying that you can't be as good as whatever, but we still got a long way to go before we're back to our full fitness again. Anyways, that's the minute rant over with, but I need to get it off my chest because, like you, I don't want to see comments like that trying to say we're deluded and saying horrible shit about our club. Not whatsoever. Right, let's carry on back to the game.
It is what it is, man.
It is, but do you know what? A player that I want to sort of big up as well is O'Reilly, Nico O'Reilly.
Yeah,
he looks some player. I know he's like 18, 19, I think, but I can see why there's a lot of praise for him, a lot of excitement about him in the obviously the City forums, obviously, and obviously the City families as well. He's a really young player, and I'm happy to see him get some game time yesterday. I think he really sort of like has that kind of flair about him, that kind of minerals about a player as young as him. Again, I know it's only a preseason game, but when you see how him playing alongside like Phillips, players who are a bit more mature than him or played more games at the level, he looked really good this morning. He looked really good. I don't know about you, Harry, but
yeah.
Yeah.
You see, with O'Reilly, I thought he transitioned the ball pretty well. He was calm. Obviously, he didn't feel like he was under pressure. I mean, he did have 1 or 2 mistakes, but again, you've got to look at he's not experienced. He's only 18. There's a long way to go for him before he reaches that top level, like Calvin Phillips, Jack Grealish is at. Them two have played for England. He's only just starting off as he is now, and Jack Grealish, Calvin Phillips, they've been in his situation, so they can just say, here's what you need to do, lad. Here's how I performed at your age. They can offer him advice. They can just mentor him to say, if you want to become my kind of player, this is how you're going to get better. So it's just about learning the ropes. And for someone like him, yeah, I think he's got a future. But what I do with him is, especially with this dare I say it, long season ahead because you've got more Champions League games, the Carabao Cup, and the Club World Cup at the end of the season now. I'm sure there's minutes available to O'Reilly and even some of these other youngsters because some of them did show promise last night, but it's about managing the minutes well, making sure their potential is maximised and it's managed stably as well. Because you don't want to loan them out and they go from being a decent looking player for City to being shitting like a team that doesn't suit their actual ability. Like if it's more of a case of do they fit the style of play if you're going to loan them out? There's certain teams suit O'Reilly. Some do, some don't. That's the same for every
Yep.
player. So it's about managing the minutes. It's about looking for the right club if you're going to loan them out. Or it's about having the right mentor, having the right person to look up and shadow, basically. But last night, game one, can't complain.
No, definitely not. I mean, also a big up. Obviously, the players come on. Also want to big up Callum Doyle as well. He's a very good one coming on. And again, I watched him at Leicester. I've watched him obviously for Sunderland as well. He looked really good. Obviously out on loan recently. Really sort of been a big player for them two teams. I think for me, I don't think he'll get that chance to see. I want to see him. If we can get some money for him and a clause to bring him back, he gets better. I wouldn't mind it personally. But a player, obviously, there already. It's going to get better and better as he gets older. And I think we should definitely have a look at, getting him out and get some good money from we can, because I can't see him getting played. I'm not saying it good enough, but when you've got Ake, Akanji, Vardio, and Diaz and Stones in front of you, it's hard to get in there straight away. I'm not saying you couldn't possibly do it, but you got to look at the way it is right now. We got to get money for him where we can and a good deal for him, and our club actually is going to probably use him. I mean, quickly going back to Simpson Pusey, he's another one as well. He's obviously a new kid as well. I mean, it's his first game, so I'm not going to sort of hit him. Obviously, for the goals conceded, I'm not going to hit him, but it's not his fault. Like, I know it's obviously he's a young player. Yeah, he has to get used, obviously, to playing in men's football. I'm sure he will do. But I think it's like this is one of these games are really good because it gives these players a chance to understand how difficult football that can be at not a high level, but a level where it gets better and better, obviously more than what they're used to already. So I think this kind of game is great experience for like O'Reilly and as a Pusey, because it gives them a chance to understand what they're going into, especially obviously with AC Milan coming up on Saturday. It's a chance for them to see how they can do against better players than them. So yeah, I mean, it's just nice to sort of see like players. I'm also Peroni as well. Peroni did the promote game on it. I want to see him get a chance. Actually, he's a good player. I mean, watched him out in La Liga. It looked like a player. Looked like he's getting better and better out there. So hopefully we can see more of him. I imagine that if he does well, I can see Argentina looking at him in the future, probably as a future first team player. I imagine in the next few years, but. It's nice seeing players like that who we've already got coming through and doing a good job like that. I hope we see more of him this obviously preseason and hopefully more in the squad. Hopefully, if he's obviously good enough. But I mean, if I move on to other players, Perret and Simpson Pusey, any thoughts on them?
Yeah. So what it is for me. I'm like I say, I'm choosing my words carefully because you've got to remember their age, their youth. They're not Premier League proven, not Premier League experience. They're not like got 50, 60 England caps behind them. That's why I'm saying you've got to be cautious with how you like criticise them because right now they need to be praised and need to be motivated rather than saying you shit. Like what we do with Kyle Walker, basically, right? We say he's shit because obviously he's Premier League proven and he's proven that he can reach top levels and he's also reached the shit levels. But with these youngsters like Wilson Esbrand, Hoosie, even you Callum Doyle's, you've got to be careful with how you criticise them because it's not what they need right now. You just got to say to them, you've done all right. You've made a couple of mistakes, but you go again. You've got a lot to learn. Your career at that stage, compared to a Kyle Walker, for example, your career is long. You've got a long time to make more mistakes to get better. And that's what I want from these youngsters, to be fair. I want to see some more slip-ups from them so they can learn from the mistakes and in long term, they can become a lot better. But for just for a pre-season game against Celtic, there wasn't bad. but there wasn't 10 out of 10. There was a fairly good for what I expect from these like academy prospects. And like I say, they've got a long career ahead of them. So basically, I don't think it's fair to say you're shit. I think it's fair to say these games happen. These kind of mistakes happen. It's about how you come back from these mistakes, how you pick yourself up and go again.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, also, I mean, a player like Peroni, obviously, he's played obviously in a Liga, high level football, so he's obviously got used to that for a year now. So I think having him come back as well with that experience, you can sort of really see how he sort of he's a long way since that obviously first game for us. He's really sort of a bit more like I think I can't remember the word, but I know obviously he's got that experience now behind him, which is good. Now, I'm not saying he'll probably play games. I imagine he might be another loan deal probably to see how he does obviously going to the next season. But he's a good player in there. I mean, if he gets an opportunity, then I'm sure he'll do really well for us. But we'll see what happens obviously with him. As soon as Ho came on, I'll tell you right, he's another good player that I can see him coming through. He's really sort of got that kind of something about him. He's 18, 19, but he really sort of feels like he wants to give it his all and really gives it a go. I think people were sort of saying, "Oh, he could be a good backup to Rodri." Like he's 19. I'm not saying he can't do it. I know it's not Mainu, but Mainu actually is a decent player. I'm not saying he couldn't do that, but we've got to be realistic here about certain players. Some players just don't do that. Some players can do that, like Foden or Oscar Bobb, come through at a young age and really hit when running. But Susan Ho for me has got to do a lot more than we're doing right now. He's done right so far. Can't say he hasn't done anything wrong at all. But if he can get into this team a bit more for this preseason, hopefully we'll see a bit more of him to sort of show, obviously in tougher games. And you never know. You never know. You might see him. And also Ndala as well. Joel Ndala is another one that I'm really looking forward to seeing. I'm going to see a lot of good things from him, obviously from the youth teams. And I didn't score doing much, but I think the fact that he's sort of getting that kind of time now and Pep's giving him that game time is obviously a real reason that he sees a lot of potential in him. Again, I know it's early door to say anything right now, but I'm quite excited by them two players, and I hope they get more opportunities. But I get obviously you probably see them much really this season, but the fact that we're seeing them now coming into the team a bit more is good to see. I think.
Yeah, so what I'll start off with is Perone, because last night he came on and he did change the game. To be fair, obviously when we were 3-1 down, Perone comes on and I think he got the second assist, and obviously he kept on going. He made chances happen. He was creating stuff and he was passing. I think his passing rate was, to be fair, one of the best. So Perone, he tried and it was what he wanted. And now, I'm going to throw a hypothetical scenario here. And remember, this is hypothetical. If anyone in the chat comes in and say, what the fuck am I going on about? Now, if there's no way we don't send a DM backup for Rodri, what's to say Perone can't come in and become the backup player to Rodri? Just imagine that. Would you take Would you take Would you take Perone as your backup to Rodri? At the worst case.
I think what we got to realize. I think I'm prepared for it personally. We ain't signed midfielder this summer.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm saying it, I'm not saying we can't do, but the market right now, the way you look at it, to buy a big name player right now, or no one as good as what we've got right now. I mean, basically, have to buy Bruno Guimaraes for how much Newcastle want him for. Which, by the way, I love Bruno Guimaraes. He's a top midfielder, and I like to see him at City. But we've got to be realistic here. We've already got Nunes and Calvin Phillips right now. Let's one or two of them go. Then they may get anyone in. So if Perone, I think for me with Phillips, I think he will be gone. I would like to see him given a fair crack at it, but if he doesn't step up, then I think he has to go. But I think personally for me, he has to go. He doesn't like he come from there. But I think Perone, I think the fact that he's actually got a bit more experience now in a high level league, I like to see him get a chance. I think watching him yesterday, I know it's preseason, but when I watched him, I was like, okay, he's obviously learned a little bit, obviously in La Liga, a bit more about himself. He gives it a bit more now. I think that's kind of like what we need, a bit of flair in the midfield, something different. I'm not saying Nunes couldn't do that. He probably can do that, Nunes, but we haven't seen much of it yet. like the glimpses of it maybe at most. It's not been a clear cut full story of Nunez yet. I think Perone for me could be that player that can sort of come in and give it a real go. But again, I know it's hypothetical, obviously on your end, but I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind him giving it be given a go.
And that's the thing, though. That's why I say hypothetical, because obviously you're not expecting Perone to come in and get you like 10 clean sheets, 10 assists from a holding midfielder role, a number 8 role. You've got to remember he's going to be like in the rotations, like a squad backup player, if the B team more or less. And if it comes to worst case scenario, I don't know why, but I want to see more Perone, and I think I'm cool with him staying around the squad just to make sure he can be that experience, he can learn experience, sorry, and obviously he can come in and now he's got last season behind him with Girona, he can come in and he can deputise for Rodri or the number 8 role, which ultimately I think he could be able to handle the responsibility well. Now, moving on to Endala, I thought he had some flair about him, and he could be an exciting prospect. Again, if you're going to manage his minutes right, he was creating stuff. He was passing pretty well. He was taking on players. So Ndala, yeah, but again, it's about his management. It's about his minutes. It's about how do you utilize him in this play style long term.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think some of these players will have to give it a chance. I mean, one player I think that obviously came on yesterday, Jake Bright. He's one player that everyone's been looking at as a promising player coming through. And look, last night I didn't get much of him. Last night, I'm not saying he didn't do well or anything, but again, it's the first game. I barely saw many players out there apart from like a few goals here and there and counters. But I think there's a player in there. I think he needs to be managed well. Like he's 17, 18 years old. We can't just be saying, right, that's it, you're on the team. You got to be, remember here, these players need time to be developed and gelled more into this team. If they're going to be playing, I think some of these players will get into this team at some point. I think Ndala definitely can be a backup option at some point for Haaland in the future if he's good enough. I think Jane Heskey's another player as well. Looks really good as well for obviously for academy. We need to see more of these players, but the fans, not us specifically, but the fans who are online who want to call these players more, be patient with them. It's only the first game. We've got to remember where we are right now. We are nowhere near the levels of fitness required yet for anything yet. We've still got to get ourselves up to speed. But the fact that 3 goals yesterday is brilliant. That's what I'm excited about. The fact we've got 3 goals, we're not even fully fit yet. That in itself is a good sign. I know we can see 4 goals, but I thought obviously remember like the defense kept mixing up. Obviously, I'm quite a young defense. Obviously Rico at right back as well, but the fact that we've got players coming through as well that are going to get better with it is obviously experience. I think we'll start seeing players like Wright and Katongo obviously came on as well. We'll start seeing these players obviously get better and better, a bit more confident in themselves to actually give things a bit more risks. I think Jacob Wright for me has a good future ahead of him if he's managed well, of course. But that's why I look at it with him anyway.
For me, right, what you've got is you're going to look at. I'm going to throw 3 players at you. Rico Lewis. You've got Oscar Bobb, Jacob Wright, Rico Lewis. You've got to say we're moving past that now. He's no longer like academy prospect. He's now a graduate. He's more like a first team player. He's still young, but he's a lot more involved with the first team. Oscar Bobb, I'd say Oscar. Now again, before I go onto Oscar Bobb, sorry. So Rico Lewis, he's no longer academy prospect. He's past that. He's graduated. He's in the first team, even though he's in and out every 10 seconds. Well, every 10 minutes, sorry. But Oscar Bobb, I don't think he's graduated from the academy yet because he's only had 1 season and he's not been heavily called upon like a Rico Lewis has. So he's still learning. But by the end of this season, I reckon Oscar Bobb, he'd have been like Rico Lewis, graduated and he'd been more in the first team fold. Well, Hendon don't get his loan. And then with Jacob Wright, he's like a baby basically. He's still learning the ropes because he only came in late last season. So with Jacob Wright, a lot of patience is required. Whereas Rico Lewis, he's now a first team player and you can criticise him publicly or like as hard as you would with a Kyle Walker. Whereas Jacob Wright, just relax. let him have the keys for when he's called upon and let him do his thing rather than just getting on his back, because getting on these players' back won't do the world of good, especially when they're just starting off. When they've had 2 or 3 years around the first team fold and they're regularly playing, I get it. But for now, Jacob Wright, just ease up on him. Same with all the other future academy prospects that'll come through, because you've got to remember, Phil Foden's the perfect example. Phil Foden was in and out, and everyone, no, not Man City fans, but everyone in the media, rival fans were saying, he's shit, get him out the club, get him out on loan, let Phil Foden flourish out on loan. And look what happened to Phil Foden. Pep kept him in the club, and Phil Foden now he's become one of the best midfielders in the Premier League, and obviously one of the best in Europe, if you like. This could happen again with another player, but only if we're patient with him and we allow him that time to basically get in the fold of around the first team mix and to pick up the signs of what it's like to be a Premier League player. So the point is with Jacob Wright against Rico Lewis, just relax. Don't get on his back. Just be patient.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, it's had Meek Hamilton come on as well, and Ben Knight. Now, Ben Knight, to me, I'm like just at this point, just at this point. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but he's not scored up for the last 2 or 3 years. He hasn't really been given, like, got a break into it yet. I think what we've got to do is probably just look to sort of get him on top of like top ball and that. Or I'm not saying he's a terrible player, by the way. I just think it's clear that City don't want him around the squad, or Pep doesn't want him around the squad or anything. I'm not saying Pep thinking or anything, but I don't see him being a long-term option in this team. He's not a bad player. I just don't think it's going to happen with him. Mika Hamilton, I think there's potential with him. I think there's a good like, winger in there, but I'm wondering whether he's alone now. Well, he's a lone deal out, because he isn't. I don't think he'll play at the moment unless Pep wants to keep him on the squad. I get it, but not everyone in this current squad right now of young players is going to be in that first team in minutes every now and again. Someone's going to have to go out on loan or get experience if they need it. I'm not saying that it's impossible. I Pep's that before, but it depends on whether or not Pep sees Mika Hamilton as someone that's actually going to be a long-term player in his club. I mean, we'll see, but what do you stand on that anyway?
Yeah, for me, I'll be honest with you, I don't know much about this Knight, but he doesn't strike me as a first team player, whereas Mika Hamilton, he's around that fold. He's in and out, like I've just said with Jacob Wright. So I reckon if you don't get on Mika Hamilton's back, he'll soon be in that first team. In the long term, he'll be in it for good, but Ben Knight, I think is more, I'm going to be honest, I'd say championship-like player. He doesn't strike me as a Premier League player, not even for like a lower league team. But Mika Hamilton, 100%, is in and out, but it's because he's learning his trade and because Pep needs to know what his level is and how he can impact the team when called upon necessary. Same way like Oscar Bobb did, same way Rico Lewis started off. Mika Hamilton, there's a player there. I think long-term, he could be a Man City player.
Yeah. Look, I think overall, I think the first game, I think it was good experience for everyone out there. I mean, obviously, Jack got some game time about it. I think, look, Jack, to me, looks like he's in the best fitness I think I've seen him at City since he's been here. Like, I know I wouldn't say he played incredibly well. First game, couldn't connect at all really about the first game. It's more about how you get on from here, really. Milan, I want to see a bit of improvement. I'm not asking for a wholesale performance, magnitude of unbelievable, whatever, but I'm asking for a bit more improvement every game. That's what I look for. Like, are we getting better with every game we're playing? That's where I look at sort of games like this. So I think the fact we've got 3 goals and lack of fitness, obviously Haaland looks obviously decent, looks up for it. Oscar looks very, very good. I'm very excited to see how he does this season. Obviously, you got Peroni as well. So you've got some good performances in there. I know it's a 4-3 loss, but loss doesn't matter to me or you. It's more about the fact that the players got out there and were given a chance. I hope the Milan game is a good opportunity for some of these players to like Heskey as well, on a bit as well, like the players like who might have had the first game get out to the next one.
what you've got to realise is these first team players, right, when they're playing with a youth, the academy prospects, you've got to realise the first team players, it might only be a friendly, but the first team players have got to be on it because these youngsters are looking at them like thinking, shit, I'm playing with Erling Haaland. I want to be like Erling Haaland one day. I want to be like Rodri one day. I know Rodri's not there, but it's an example. I want to be like Ederson if I'm a young goalkeeper. I want to be like Stefan Ortega. These young players are looking up to him thinking, that's a role model there. So for these first team players, I think they should step up just to set the example for the younger lads. Might only be like a, excuse me, might only be like a pre-season game, but still, it's necessary for these players to show, yeah, I'm your standard. I'm the example for you. If you want to be like me, you've got to work hard, you've got to train hard, you've got to play hard like me to make the grade long term.
Absolutely. And look, I think overall, I think it was a good game. Overall, I enjoyed it. Obviously, what I saw, didn't win, but I'm not. Even if we had won, I wouldn't have cared anyway. It's just the fact that we got players out there. Haaland got a goal, which is good with confidence. Bobb did very well. So did Perone. Jack got some game time, obviously out there. I hope he has a good season himself. Overall, I'm feeling pretty good. I don't care about if you're here to care about the result, you're an idiot. I don't give a shit. It's a preseason game. It's not meant to be a serious game that if you win, if you win, we don't get anything out of it anyway. Just cool. It's not points out of it. It's just a game for us to get ready for that. Obviously, Chelsea. I mean, I know it's a shield, but I'm going to it. But I'm not exactly sitting there thinking we've got to win that shield. It's more of a, if we win it, cool. But it's not something I'm sitting there going crazy. I mean, I know I know it's a lot, but it's still a community shield game. It's not the same as a league fixture. But I know everyone's different about that kind of thing. But it's just it's the Chelsea away is the one I'm looking at. If anything, that's the one I'm focusing on for us to sort of get started on and get going, because I think I'm not sure how many players are due back. I mean, I think there's some coming over in there from Holiday. I think I'm not sure if that's true or not. Or was it this? So are there any players coming at all from like who are at Euros, or was it just going to be our players right now? I'm not sure what's going on
there. There should be one or two joining up with him, according to Tone. Can't remember who it was. I remember him saying one or two. Yeah. However, I think he did say Savio's dead in the water. I think Savio's going to just train with him when they get back to England. So we won't see Savio there by the look of it, which is a shame because I'd love to see Savio in pre-season. So we've got a glimpse of what to expect when he's at Chelsea away. But
I think Sevilla.
Go on, sorry.
You're talking.
Yeah, so imagine if Savio's like, obviously, I'll be real. If Savio doesn't hit the heights at Chelsea, it's because obviously he's not had that pre-season with us. He needs to settle in. Same way like how Doku came in last season, even though Doku said it alike. Doku didn't have a pre-season with us. But that's what we need from Savio, I think. He needs to settle in. He needs to learn the Man City ropes. And obviously, before you know it, when he gets to Chelsea away, he knows how the system works. He knows what his individual role is, rather than like being a bit in and out, hit and miss. But Savio, I don't think he's on that pre-season tour, regardless.
No. I'll tell you, I'm very excited to see Savio, Doku on the wings and Haaland up front. I'm so excited to see that.
It will be filthy, but it'll take time, mate.
Because I tell you, I know it's a time, but I think for me, it's just the fact that we've got two tricky wingers, rapid, and can do skills. You can really annoy the fullbacks, and you've got a tall striker in the box and get across from there. We've got a good options there for good different systems there, which is really great for us. So I'm very excited to see how this team sort of develops. I think for me, it's more the fact that, again, I know some people on Twitter like the joke, but it's the one actually I'm being serious on Twitter most of the time. I think it really hits me. I don't care if you watch this and if you're an arsehole for that. I don't give a shit, because if you're sat there taking this game way too seriously, than what you need to do, then I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's not meant to be that deep. Like, it was a league game, I understand, but this isn't a competitive game. It's just a game that we need to play to get fitness going. As Brigzy said just now. So I hope we do actually get better and better. I'm sure we will against Milan, obviously against Barcelona and Chelsea as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing obviously how we do going forward. But I'm just happy that certain players got a chance out there this morning. I look forward to seeing where we go on Saturday.
I am going to point out a negative, right?
Go
Middle
on.
of last night, I think it was when we was 3-1 down, or it might have been at half time. There was a fan on Twitter that did say, even if you look at Mancunian Ways Twitter, Martin will know this. There was a fan on there that said, Pep Guardiola, it is time to go.
I
Just because
saw
we was
that.
losing against Celtic. Yeah. You
Now,
seen it, did you? Like, why are you getting
I
so
think he was
support
joking.
friendly?
I think he was joking. I looked at it, I thought, right, I think he might be joking. Yeah. I know some people like to do that kind of stuff, but the problem is with Twitter though is that it's just you're never sure anymore. Like I might say, "Oh, I was only joking," but we don't know that because
It's
it's
the way
not.
it's interpreted.
Look, they're wrong. This is why I do this show though, because I used to like that, not like him, but like sometimes you might say something, but it's out of context. On here, we say it on the screen, so you just hear what I'm saying it and the way I'm saying it. That's why I do the show with Alex and Danny. That's why I do stuff because that way we don't get sort of like on Twitter. We actually get. I would sort of say how we say it on here. Same with you, same with Jack, wants to come here as well. This is what the show's about exactly. But I think what you got to do for me is don't criticize the players right now. It's these 4 games right now. I couldn't care less about. I care more about the ones that back home in England. That's the games I'm like, right, we're back home now.
Yeah.
Let's get serious. So right now I'm like, it's just a bit of a jolly up. Obviously, if we actually get wins, cool, but I don't really care. But if we draw, cool. If we lose, all right, fair enough. It's just people need to just relax. I think the fact that people call the players. Look, I'm sure we'll sign players. I think we'll sign 2 more. For me, I think we'll sign 2 more players. I think for this squad, but I'm not sitting here crying about it. I'm more like, all right, it'll happen, but I'm chill because it's been the Euros. It's been a mad season. The players are obviously on holiday still. We need to just realize that it's going to be a bit of a slow start, but eventually we'll get there. I'm sure we'll have players ready to go going next season. But to anyone watching this, relax. At least sit your back. Enjoy the fact that we're back now playing football again, and just focus on the fact on that fact. Because I mean, I'm looking forward to the season starting. I'm looking forward to it. I think transfers wise, it's been a bit quiet, obviously on incomes front, but the Ederson De Bruyne situation. I mean, the Ederson one a bit like it's getting annoying now more than anything because it's just like tool from anyone. I'm not saying like Pep's got to clarify it, but the fact that Ederson's been the way he's been, or allegedly been the way, I'm not saying he has been like that. Obviously, what the media so far, and what's heard from us from sources and that, it's not a good sign. But again, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. As you said, Harry, earlier on, like still up in the air right now. That I don't know what's been said. I don't know where it's going. I know he put out that Instagram post a while ago that was quite whatever it was, but it just it feels a little bit like it's just there's no confirmation. I know I was but it's not like confirmed or anything or a deal in place. It's just talks, obviously. That it's not like a guaranteed situation. So I'm more the fact that I'm just relaxed. Whatever happens, happens. I think De Bruyne's going to stay. I can't see him going anywhere anyway. I think he'll be here for a year minimum. Maybe sign him with me a 1-year deal. Yeah, maybe like do one last season, then might end up sort of like leaving to like wherever we get a bit of money from. I'm not. I hope we actually we actually get a chance to actually say goodbye to him. Obviously, I know obviously Silva and Aguero we didn't really get that sadly, but I hope with De Bruyne we actually get through. That'd be nice, sort of. Because I'm pretty sure, isn't it 10 years? That's the testimonial. Testimonial,
Yeah,
isn't it?
10 years for a testimonial with every
I
sport.
think I'll do 10 years of them. I think we'll do 10 years. Have testimonial, whatever it may be, and then that'll be it. I can't blame him for like obviously wanting to go to like MLS. Obviously, as good a bag. I get it. Like at his age and obviously his young family as well. I think the fact that he's won everything with us now isn't like lingering like doubts or lingering ifs for him. We've seen him do the very obviously we've seen him be the best player in the world for a good number of years, in my opinion. I think like you as well, obviously, like seeing like seeing all the comparisons obviously recently in the last few days, but I'm blessed to have seen these players play live and also throughout the time here at the club from start to end. I'm grateful to have seen these players play at a high level and the high ceiling. I think I know everyone's different to what they prefer. For me, I prefer De Bruyne, but I get what people say David Silva or Torre or whatever. I get it because I've watched him. I love him as well. I think when I watched Fernandinho, De Bruyne, and Silva, it was like watching a modern day version of Xavi, Iniesta, and Busquets. The way that was being played. I think Rodri right now, the way he's playing with Silva and De Bruyne, would be unbelievable to watch. Yeah, unbelievable midfield retire. But I think with transfer wise on the front to that, I think I'm fine with it. I think I'll be here next season anyway. I think I'm just more the fact that I want clarity on the Ederson, if anything.
But this is for me, right? On the Ederson story, you've got to be careful there because I mean, I think it was a Man City Brazil page that tweeted it. So
yeah,
it's not exactly 10 out of 10 source unless it's come from a Jack Gorn, Martin Blackburn, Fabrizio Romano. So there may be truth in it, don't get me wrong, but I'd rather believe it from a 10 out of 10 source than 3 guys I've named, because then there's something genuine going on now with Ederson, and there's something genuine where we're going to have to part ways with Ederson, or it could be Ederson's calm, Ederson's being told off, and he's chill with being told off, and he's being a professional again. He's got his head underwater and he's calm. But it is what it is for now. We can't control the Ederson situation. Or we can, if you're gonna get worked up about it, then I don't think it's right. Just because obviously we don't know the full facts. No one's really leaked it properly, and Pep Guardiola's not said much formally since that story broke yesterday about Ederson. So Ederson, fine, but the Kevin De Bruyne stuff as well, that's also hit and miss. I'm just going to believe it when I see it, whether Kevin De Bruyne stays this summer or whether he goes this summer. That's going to be down to when he's holding up a new shirt for New York or wherever, or whether he's got a pen and paper in his hand to say signing a new deal. I'll wait till I see it because this transfer window's very, very hit and miss at the minute. And all the stories, right, are literally up and down, so you don't know what to believe. Basically, I'm not being horrible there to like all these top journalists, but the way the story's getting broke, it's so backwards because it's all right, Romano saying one thing, but then you get like even a Tolmy saying something different. And it's like, which one do you believe? Because they're both. Tolmy could be right, he's 10 out of 10, but then so could Romano, and he's 10 out of 10. I'd rather just believe it when I see it with my own eyes on the club account, or whether they're holding a new shirt up, or whether they've got a pen and paper in front of them signing the contracts. But just to go back on Kevin De Bruyne, I said it in your chat last night. You've got to utilise the CFG with Kevin De Bruyne, because that CFG, there is no other model like that apart from Red Bull, really. A platform for Kevin De Bruyne to say, I want to be a coach, I want to be an ambassador, I want to be a partial owner, I want to be a scout. The CFG can offer Kevin De Bruyne that, whether it's at Man City, New York, in it or India. You've got all these options for Kevin De Bruyne. So if he does leave Man City, let's hope it's for another CFG team, because they can utilise that and give him a long-term career.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that, anyone in the chat right now, I'm sure it's about 112 viewers there on Wednesday night. I get it's pretty quiet, so everyone's probably off the holiday still. But I appreciate everyone being here, watching us, obviously, for an hour now, which is brilliant. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, obviously, if you're there right now. But for me, with transfers, I'm kind of just like, I'm like you, Harry. It's kind of like, it's hard to really get anywhere with it because stories keep changing left, right, and centre. Tommy says obviously getting 2 players in. I'm not saying, I know, look, Martin and Tone, right, the differences right now, they aren't gospel. I'm not saying that they're horrible to them. They would say the exact same thing that I'm saying. I both know them personally anyway. They both get told what they get told. I don't know their source because I don't answer it because it's their source and they're entitled to that source themselves. But remember, end of the day, right, a source isn't always correct. They only get told what they're told by someone, what's been heard. All we can do is say this is what's been coming out from the club. Just take it obviously you went. This is what I do. I think I hear it. Cool. I might hear something obviously going on. but then I leave it alone. Look, don't be wrong, right? I get people go to comments about Martin saying about Bruno, being almost 100% done. There's something like that. But the thing is with that though is that I always, not saying he was wrong on that, but I thought I just felt like there wasn't anything in it. I thought like Bruno, and it felt a little bit like it was just not really going to happen. I think I always thought a 2% chance doesn't always mean guaranteed success. So everyone just be patient. Look, one player through the door. It's better than nothing. You've got a winger through the door, which I think actually what we needed personally, another winger. But we've got to be patient in this one. Remember, we still got players at the club still. I think we need to have a look at, obviously, if someone does go, either a new keeper, obviously, if Ederson does go, or a midfielder if De Bruyne does go. We've got to be patient. If it doesn't happen, don't cry about it. Don't say it's over, because I'm sorry, right? Look at Arsenal. Fury's about to be done, or close to being done now? It's about 4 weeks of haggling. Yep, haggling. But Arsenal need a striker. They haven't got one yet. So look at Liverpool. No players in. United have got Euro in, who's I think is a good young player, but a lot of money for him though. Especially when
they're stalling on what's he called, the centre back,
Fury,
De Ligt.
Oh, De Ligt, yeah. So
yeah, apparently it's post signing, but they're stalling on like the if they've got the money for him, because obviously the FFP restrictions.
That's what I think this summer, right? If there wasn't FFP, I think we just get a full on. We would have a full on lot because everyone's trying to understand the rules right now. This is why I think the rules are actually really the league for me personally, because it's limiting everyone on what they can do, and that's not making it any better. I'm not saying I want to spend billions of dollars or pounds, but just let these teams compete. If they can afford, if they can afford it, let them do it. I want to see these other teams compete with us. I want to see these teams get better, so we get better in turn. I want to see competition, but this could be the most quietest window of all time. It's so quiet right now. Go on.
And this is the thing, it's not the same as it was 10 years ago, even 15 years ago, because 10, 15 years ago, even when you watch Sky Sports Sky Sports News when you was growing up as a kid, and you'd see Arsenal have smashed, I can't do Jim White, but Arsenal have smashed their record to sign Andrei Arshavin. Man United have bought Dimitar Berbatov. My Jim White's so out of touch, but yeah. You'd see all these clubs just breaking their transfer budgets to sign all the players. Now, however, COVID had a big impact across Europe. Now COVID's settled. You've got this FFP. What's it called? Can't remember what you call it. But all these new restrictions. PSR, yeah. You've got all this coming in, and next year you've got this salary cap spend, whatever it's called as well. So football is not the same as it used to be back when Arshavin was going to Arsenal, or when we was even linked to Kaka and John Terry. You can't just swoop in and buy players no more because of all these. I know COVID wasn't like a plan, but all these restrictions around FFP, PSR, COVID even, it's really knocked football back a big level. It's like now, can you even splash out 40 million, or do you have to pay it in installments because of the way FFP is dealt with, or the way your revenue is dealt with because of, say, COVID? You can't now. You have to do it in installments. Back then, you could really just, here's 40 million straight up, and here's 10 million in bonuses if you want it. But now, why do you think, Luke? Here's one for you. Why do you think undisclosed fees are around much now?
Because a lot of it now is actually being brought up now, or I'm guessing a lot of it's now done PSR now, because undisclosed fees were done as a way of hiding it from other people say that's very conspiracy theory, but it's not. Why is it undisclosed in the first place? Surely it's a fee. Surely you can say how much for a player.
Because years ago, didn't you? If you remember, when you used to see undisclosed fees every signing. Now, because you say, of the FFP and PSR bollocks and all these extra add-ons, the way teams are splitting up the fees to cover it over like a Chelsea, basically doing it over a 6-year deal. they're splitting it. So obviously, undisclosed fees are no longer valid because they need to prove the funds for the long-term gain.
Yeah. I think a lot of fans, well, not us particularly, but younger fans think it's like career mode. It's not that simple. If it was that simple, then I'm sure a lot of it will get done by now. But genuinely, transfers now are literally like, it's like a full-on process. It's not like simple as me go up to the phone to the club, say I want this player, here's the bid for it, I'm sending it to your account now, or pending. They'll agree with it. They're the player, sort it out. There's image rights. There's so much stuff going on. It's not an excuse, by the way. This is how it goes. This is football now. Like, you got to agree so many stuff with it. Medicals, deals. There's so much you got to do in the process to even get a player now, and make sure you're actually in line with the rules of football as well. It's like margins. It's like margins, and we get the margins right. It's so picky now. So that's why I think, as a fan, I just don't really care anymore. Obviously I care about transfers. Obviously, when players come through the door, it's great to see new players coming to the club. But I don't care anymore because I'm not asking for it. I'm like, just get a player in if possible to help Rodri out. That's great. That's what if that's it after Xavio, I couldn't care less. Because at least that way we've got a player in, and I think it's good enough at least next year. But some of these fans, because they saw Mbappe go to Madrid, they got jealous. Like a spoiled kid. I'm like, I'm sorry, but you and me can say the same thing here. That deal happened ages ago. That deal was done like 5 years ago. Mbappe in Madrid, like it's like a new thing, is it? Like a new deal that was done ages ago. It's just now it's finally gone through. Like
I said that. What do you call it? Like there doesn't. I said it to one of my mates from uni. There doesn't feel enough hype around an Mbappe like there was for Gareth Bale 10 years ago, or even Ronaldo 10 years ago, because this deal's all been about time, and it's been about the fees. Like you said, Mbappe was probably done before COVID.
Exactly.
But
it's just
with Ronaldo, it was money up front. Same with Gareth Bale, money up front, transfer. What was it? Ronaldo 80 mil, Gareth Bale 85, money up front. But now with Mbappe, it's probably split down to instalments because of one, COVID, and two, FFP, even if it's different in Spain.
This is what I mean. So, on the chat, look, we will do. Look, what we'll do. These kind of shows we'll try and do when we can. Obviously, obviously, every now and again, obviously, the podcast will always be the first episode that comes out in the week anyway. But we'll do one on Wednesday or whatever other week we can do. If there's any news worth talking about. But at the end of the day, right, we'll all be sitting here and lying to you about certain stuff. So far, apart from Ederson, De Bruyne, that's been it. Nothing else going on at all really right now. It's been really dead. I'll be honest with you, it's been really quiet. I mean, I've heard about players we're looking at. Also, it's looking at. It's not coming anything to me. Like, I'm looking at bloody Pedri. Isn't going to get him? Like, like Danny Olmo. I always knew that wasn't that wasn't going to happen. I thought I gave a good player. I thought if we're not going in for him seriously, we're not putting a bid in or release clause, then obviously we won't actually get him. So we need to just be patient as fans. Look, we're back now. We're on board in America. Focus on the games. Hopefully, we'll get some news soon about players coming in, more actually going out. But until then, just relax. Enjoy your summer.
What I will say though about that Danny Olmo thing quickly, that's another example of this transfer window. It was because it's been on and off. 1 minute Man City are linked to him, the next Man City are, then we're back onto him, then we're not. Just forget about these transfers. Just get on with get on with your day, get on with your lives. And until Manchester City, with a gold tick on Twitter, or X as you call it now, until they officially tweet it, saying Manchester City have agreed terms with Danny Olmo officially, or they've signed him, just get on with your days, get on with your careers, get on with seeing your friends, your family, whatever. Stop obsessing over transfers, because this transfer window is so on and off, hit and miss. You may as well just stop wasting time stressing over something that you can't control, because Manchester City have probably got a plan, but because the window for everybody because of PSR has been dead for everyone. It's something that we as fans can't control. We just got to listen to bullshit that you can't control. shit comes out your ass, not out your mouth, and that's what people are getting sucked in believing, because shit's coming out of these journalists' mouths, because every little story, even if it comes from bloody The Sun, everyone's jumping on the hype thinking, Man City getting someone. We're not, because these official journalists haven't said it officially, and if they have said it officially, 24 hours later, they reiterated the words because Man City aren't getting that player. So just wait and see for patience.
Look at last summer, like when Declan Rice, all seen Fabrizio, getting the news in, getting the hype going. There's been nothing. Them two have been starved this summer. Like, I'm sorry, genuinely, I'm not even picking him. I'm saying, even Fabrizio can't bring up anything because it's so dead right now. All right, someone might get this random player from this club. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. It's just, it is in a way, I think this is kind of, I think after years of massive earnings and massive money spent, it's always going to happen at some point. A rest period where everyone just relaxes for a bit, and then the market value of the IP comes down a little bit. Because of what happened with Neymar, it put the market up by about 100%. So a player worth £10 10 years ago was almost double that because of Neymar. Like, look at Dembele, look at Green, them massive deals that went for. They should have gone for like half of that, maybe half of that. It should never gone to that amount of money, but because it was spent, it got out of control. But that's where we're at now. Well, everyone just needs to relax, enjoy your life, enjoy football, and look, if it comes up, we'll be here to obviously discuss it. But until then, just enjoy your life. That's where we are.
I'll tell you a quick story, mate. It's like in the Championship, with me being from Hull, I'm hearing about Hull City stuff as well. And apparently, the Hull City owner, he's scared of FFP because soon as Hull City, if they was to get promoted this season or last season, which they missed out last season, like Leicester, they're getting hit with FFP restrictions. So all these Championship clubs are afraid of spending money. It's a combination of the whole English pyramid, not just Man City and Liverpool and Arsenal. It's everyone.
Exactly. So we'll obviously talk more about stuff. Obviously, it obviously comes out. If we get any news about players, we'll always talk about it on a show. Also, someone else that comes through. Look, this is why LB's on holiday right now. This is why Martin's obviously away in America. I'm not blaming them because I'm doing that soon myself. But it's like, end of the day, right? We're not going to just sit here and chat shit to you. I'm doing these shows after the game because it's a game discussion, and I'm talking about transfers along with that. I'm not going to be doing these streams every day just for sake of it. Another Luke over as well, because I know Luke does a bit every now and again, but he's the same boat as me, other people. All we're doing is talking about stuff that actually is out there. Right now, it's nothing at all out there, so we'll just get on with our lives. Look, content will start coming more out. I will say this now. There'll be more stuff coming soon. I said that last week, but the problem is when there's not much going on with City apart from certain games, it's hard to really sort of talk about much stuff. But trust me, it will get much better as we get on towards season starts. Until then, relax a bit, chill. At least City are back now. But again, just give it a bit of time to transfers. We might see something soon, hopefully. Until then, just relax. That's simple.
How it should be. Saturday night, another game, AC Milan.
Yeah, I might do a watch along for that, actually. I might do a watch along for because I'm not doing anything on Saturday night anyway. I think, as far as I'm aware. It was about 11 o'clock, so I might just do a little watch long and I watch the game. So if anyone wants to chill stream and watch the game together, feel free to come in here and chat. I'm just going to sort of just be here and watch the game because honestly, apart from that, I mean, I'll do every game obviously because some games obviously are like the week like midnight and I can't do it because I've worked the next day. But until obviously we get more football back, it's kind of just trying to find whatever we can or just talk about. And I get it, it's not easy, but we'll get there, and I'm sure after what me and Brigzy will do as well, we'll do another stream to sort of discuss this game as a Milan game as well, and as well going forward, sort of see where things are hopefully in a week's time. But yeah, apart from the game and that, quite it really, isn't it? That's actually it, really, isn't it? In terms of stuff,
it's what it is.
Exactly, it's what it is, and done about around a quarter now, so that's pretty good. So to anyone obviously still watching the stream right now, over 119 of you over Twitter and YouTube. She says everyone actually watch the stream. Make sure to like, subscribe to the channel where possible. We appreciate all support. It's been a bit quiet recently, but hopefully we'll see the company a bit more stuff to come out there, a bit more people chatting away in the comments. We'll be able to see. But a big up Brigzy, obviously being in the stream. That's pretty good, mate, for chatting away to me. I'm sure he'll be here again enough times. I'm so with Jack as well another day as well. Again, more shows to come soon. Be patient. We'll get there. Just relax. Take care, everyone. Good night.